Let's do it.
All right, Omaha Beef Coaches Show is on the air.
On the air.
It is on the air. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Todd Walker.
it's a preseason for everybody.
Preseason for everybody. Todd Walker, Jason Unger, coming to you from Let It Fly in downtown Omaha. How about this get up there?
What a place, man.
Look at
what
this.
a place. Surrounded by pros, literally.
And there's audio to go with the video.
That's good.
Is it?
No, video that goes,
Video
with the audio.
Yeah,
We're used to the audio side of things. The video, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So we ventured back downtown to actually, the beef just started down the street. Used to be at the old Omaha Civic Auditorium for several years. Now we're down here in the Capital District.
Beautiful.
Great
Beautiful
place. This is where we'll be coming to you Monday nights of game weeks here in 2025. And coming down here, I've been with the team for about 15 years or whatever. I know when we say the Omaha Beef Coaches Show, when we come down here, there's some reactions. First off,
right.
It's either who's Omaha Beef,
right?
It's a professional indoor football team,
correct?
Or Omaha Beef still around?
They still play.
How about that, right? Year number 26 kicking
26th
off right
year.
now. How about that?
Back-to-back champs.
Back-to-back. 3 out of the last 4
3 out of the last 4 years.
Defending National Arena League champions indoor football 2 of the last 3 years behind that. 4 straight league championship game appearances for the Omaha Beef. So they're still around. Things are going good.
Very high expectations heading into this season.
And more coming up here this coming year for 2025. First preseason game action is coming up this week. Sunday.
Crazy.
Afternoon matinee.
Sunday afternoon matinee.
How about that?
Yeah. Liberty First Credit Union Arena, otherwise known as the Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse 2. But Omaha playing their games in Ralston. Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Year number 13 there, believe it or not.
13 years.
Just as long as Omaha was at the Civic Auditorium, first 13 seasons.
Oh, so it's 13 in one place, 13 in the other.
13.
All right, I got you.
May have to look for somewhere new after this year. Move every 13 years.
Well, you have to see what Ricky thinks about that.
I guess it's up to him, too.
It's up to him.
Glad you guys are joining us here tonight. We have a lot of players down here, coaches. As we mentioned, we'll be coming to you on Monday nights from this beautiful, beautiful facility here in downtown Omaha. And I'll be honest, I've never been here.
Yeah, first time for both of us.
We're West Omaha guys. You know how the Omaha works. 72nd Street. People don't like to cross that. It's like a border.
We were lucky to make it here.
We were lucky to make it here.
That was
a little more traffic than I'm used to.
That was a bus ride. From our hood.
We made it work. We're happy that you're tuning in here, but even better, come down here. As we said, we'll be here Monday nights when there's games. That includes this Monday night coming up.
Yeah.
7 days from now, which we'll already be talking a little game action.
Yeah, we'll have a game behind us, so we'll kind of know and get a feel for the roster. I mean, there's always roster turnover, Todd. I mean, you probably know a little bit more about it than I do, but I mean, there's going to be new guys, some new faces, some familiar faces. Coach Tatum's back, obviously, so you've got that stability at head coach, but again, you're going to have to work some new guys in, new faces, maybe some new schemes offensively and defensively. So excited to see what happens on Sunday.
So let's kind of lay out for people who may have forgotten or maybe new to this what exactly we have going on down here. As you mentioned, 35-man rosters for the preseason game Sunday. That's where you go. You get your chance. The new guys are trying to make the roster. They'll cut down to 25 guys when the regular season comes, 21 after. So that's the first thing that players have got to do is go out and prove themselves.
Right.
As you mentioned, though, a lot of success here in the last few years. This is a team that's gone undefeated 2 straight seasons.
21 in a row.
21 in a row. Have not lost since 2022 season.
Probably going on 800 days.
Championship game.
Right.
Against the Salina Liberty for those who are diehard fans who've been following along. So a lot of success going on. But let's kind of bring people up to speed what's going on. If you had been following the team the last couple of years, a familiar name at quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
You should start Nebraska there. Quarterback Tommy Armstrong. Those 2 undefeated seasons. He was a quarterback for both of them.
Right.
25-0 as a starter, 2 championships. He got older. Everybody gets older. And he will visit the retirement bench.
Father Time's undefeated.
Father Time catches up to you.
All of us. I mean, as you and I both know, I mean, we're very familiar with that ourselves.
A little bit, unfortunately. But what a run it was, right?
Yes.
And the last time this team was in action is that unforgettable National Arena League Championship game at the Slaughterhouse against longtime rival, the Sioux City Bandits. And we haven't ever had a chance to talk about it, but what a championship game that was. A double overtime victory for Omaha, defeating their arch rivals by 1. This extra point in the second OT.
I just remember that night, and it felt like we were in the arena for like days. I mean, both of us were standing up at the end of the game. We were it was just
draining.
It was. I felt like I played after that game, and it was just an incredible atmosphere, an incredible win, and I mean, it had all the drama that you would hope that a championship game has.
I love cliches.
Oh yeah.
That's the one where unfortunately one of those teams had to lose.
Right.
Unless you're a B fan, then you're very happy about it.
Correct.
Especially that Sioux City. But it was a game that both teams literally had multiple opportunities to win on a single play. Whether it's an extra point, a 2-point conversion, a stop on 4th down. I mean, I don't know how many points. And remember, Omaha led early in that game. Looked like they're going to run away with it.
Correct.
City comes back into it.
Correct.
And makes it into probably one of the best indoor football games I've seen. If not, definitely one of the best championship games in the industry.
It was an incredible game. I remember the Beef got up early, like you said. Iowa climbed their way back, or Sioux City climbed their way back into it, scored right before halftime. You and I talked at halftime, I think, and said, this is going to be a game in the second half. And they went back and forth, traded punches. Many, many chances. Both teams had many chances to win with a kick.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did a kick get
We saw a fake
miss kick, going for 2, stop?
We saw every bell and whistle and gadget play that was possible in that game. But Omaha victorious, 2 championships in a row, 3 in the last 4 years. That being said, Tommy Armstrong in retirement, so that's one of the major personnel issues that we'll be looking at. And if you haven't been watching the National Arena League transaction wires, there's probably 3 people that haven't. Let's be honest. But Omaha, the offseason signing of Lorenzo Brown, looking to be the starting quarterback. This is a quarterback that's been around for several years. I'm talking all the way back to the 2010 season.
2010.
Sioux Falls Storm, 3 IFL championships.
Right.
If you're not familiar with the indoor football game, the Sioux Falls Storms there used to be a pretty good college football team, right? It was really good for a long time. That's what Sioux Falls was in the day.
Gotcha.
And our own Mike Tatum played on that team. He's got the rings to show as well. Teammates with Lorenzo Brown. So an experienced quarterback, several years with Sioux Falls. 2 years ago, you may remember, he did play 1 season with the Sioux City Bandits, 2022. Looking to see what he can do with Omaha. It's a good place to start. And a little side note, was in Sioux Falls, you know who his backup quarterback was?
Tommy
Armstrong.
It seems like when you're talking indoor football, a lot of these guys are intertwined in some way. They've either played with each other, former or current coaches maybe played with some of these guys that they bring in and, have on the team now. So there's a familiarity, right? With a lot of these guys. They all know each other. It's just a matter of getting them implemented into your system.
So many good stories, when you get to know these players. And that's what we're going to attempt to do, especially with the coaches show.
Right.
Throughout the season, during the games, you'll be calling the action. We'll be doing halftime interviews and features as well. Just so many great stories. We'll be honest, this league, players aren't here for the money.
No, it can't be. This is. Would you even call it a part-time job or a hobby?
Sometime job?
Maybe a hobby.
It's a sometime job.
Right.
But it's a big deal. It's still a big part of their lives. And,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what. If I could play a few years, maybe not that sport, maybe bowling or something. I mean, if you could do something for a few years right after school, and kind of make it work.
Maybe not indoor football. That probably wouldn't be one. I mean, these guys their bodies go through a beating throughout the season. I mean, they really, really do. It's a physical game.
It's a tough game. And again, played on the hockey rink with the walls. They don't move.
No, they don't move. They do not move.
That AstroTurf, where they still use AstroTurf. They don't even use that outdoors anymore because for obvious reasons, it hurts.
It hurts when you get tackled.
So it's a tough way to make it. Let It Fly Sports Bar. This is where we'll be. We are downtown, 10th and Capital
District.
The Capital District. If you could join us 6 to 7 o'clock, we'll be back here next Monday as well. This is the Mike Tatum Coaches Show.
That's right.
At some point, we will talk with the head coach, Mike Tatum.
Yeah, we're going to bring Coach
we'll also
in.
going to talk to the owner of the Omaha Beef, Ricky Birch. I found out we don't have ads. This is where I'd usually go to a break, so they come right back to you, reset things.
I'm waiting for a commercial.
We need a commercial. Back, Let It Fly Sports Bar, as we bring you the first edition of the 2025 Omaha Beef Coaches Show. I'm Todd Walker, there's Jason Unger. And what coaches show would be a coaches show without a coach? Right. That was a smooth transition. You can't tell us preseason, you can't coach. Mike Tatum joins us, and coach, first time I've seen you in a while. Welcome back to town. First off, good to see you. And just tell us, you've been practicing now for, I believe, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Tell us early on what you see so far, what your feelings are getting started.
I see some really, really, really good things, and I see some things that I really, really, really don't like at this point. I feel like this training camp is a little bit different to the last 2 that I was a part of. The last 2, we could tell right away what exactly we have, and this one just kind of got me really, really, really making me feel like I have to coach. I know that is my job title, but sometimes you just get those guys that just can go out there and they'll just run through a wall, and it's the right wall to run through, and it falls apart.
Right.
Yeah, this group, we're kind of hitting that wall and got to figure out a way to kind of either get over it, around it, or just figure out a solution.
Because I like to poke and prod. Tell us what you're not liking so far for your camp. Let's just start there. Let's get out there.
What I don't like, I think I'll figure out by the time the preseason game come and be fixed by week 1. So there's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to try, a lot of moving pieces that we're going to try to put in different places for the team's success.
Let's talk about the obvious. I mean, you've got some different personnel this year. It starts at quarterback. Talk about that process and what you're doing and where you're at in it.
The quarterback process is really, really interesting right now. It's interesting. We brought in Lorenzo Brown. We still have Taz from last year. You know, Taz was Tommy's backup last year, really soaking the game up. And then we brought in Bryce Holiday, which was with Omaha a couple years ago. You know, played with the arena game a little bit. You know, still kind of learned the indoor game, but has some really good intangibles.
Now let's talk a little bit about that competition since we're here. You know, I mean, you obviously know Lorenzo very well. I mean, you guys had some. I heard you used to play a little, right?
I played a little bit, man.
You got a couple of rings to show for it, but talk about. And let's be fair. I mean, you know, he's older.
Yes.
Which is good. It's experience too. It's a unique position. We've seen that in all levels of football, where you sometimes get better with that as well. Talk about though Lorenzo Brown that you played with compared to Lorenzo Brown maybe now. Better, worse, same, more experience. Go ahead.
So the GOAT is always going to be the GOAT. Let's start there. You know, let's not do disrespect or slander.
Absolutely.
But Lorenzo Brown's going to be Lorenzo Brown. All right. I feel like here being in Omaha, he's going to have to find his way. You know, it's unlike being in Sioux Falls where it's familiar. It's unlike being in Sioux City where it's familiar. Being in Omaha has been, I feel like, a changing point for him. You know, I know what he can do because I've won 2 or 3 championships with him, been in 4 with him, you know, but won 3. But I feel like he'll find his way. You know, it's only day 5. You know, it's being in the National Arena League is a little bit different than the IFL.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, man, we're at the National Arena League is more of a developmental league. You know, and he's not used to that. He's used to going in with guys that, you know, they know what they're doing. You know, now we're teaching from ground zero, and he's got to take that process too. So I think he'll pick it up later.
Let's talk about Taz, who was here last year too. Let's talk about his development from where he left off and what you've seen. You know, he's got some real playing experience last year. He obviously had experience before he came to Omaha as well. We've seen him all throughout the leagues. But talk about, you know, the few games that he got in last year.
Yeah.
Got some real playing time and how that translated into your system this year.
Last year we asked Taz to be Tommy. Okay. And it's a lot of good things that Taz can do that we didn't give him a chance to do last year because, again, we were asking Taz to be Tommy. But this year,
because you just put him in the same gameplay that you already have.
Yes, because when you have a quarterback, whoever steps in, they have to either be that guy or the coach has to make changes. Now, this year going into the game, we have 2 different style quarterbacks, and Lorenzo did one in Taz, and we got to pretty much make the game about Taz if this is going to be Taz's team. We got to make the game about Lorenzo if it's going to be his team. We got to make the game about Zay if it's going to be his team. That's pretty much it. And that's what the coach.
And let's talk about him as well. As you said, he's here before. You know, release came back. You know, what did he do during that time, and where's he at in his process as a quarterback?
Bryce, he just got here a couple of days ago. You know, he didn't get the first couple of days of training camp. He does some really good things for us. Previously, he was in the AFL last year for a little bit. The year before that, I don't think he really did anything, but he's really just trying to find his way right now. You know, he has a whole bunch of like goals and different things like that he want to accomplish, which I really, really like coming from a quarterback. Like any other quarterback, he's a leader.
Coach, last year you and I talked about the relationship you had with Tommy and how he almost saw the game. Both of you almost saw the game through the same lens. How long do you think that's going to take for you to develop that with whoever plays quarterback this year for you guys?
That's the curve. That's the curve that we're on right now. We're in training camp, so we're trying to form 3 different relationships instead of maintaining one.
Right.
So right now, I can't really build a bond with one quarterback because it's still a quarterback competition.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Taz have our own relationship. Lorenzo Brown is probably one of my best friends. And then Bryce Holiday, I just met him, but we had some really good conversations. So
let's talk about the rest of the offense, what you see so far, any new faces that you brought in or returning veterans. You know, what you're going to do this year. Obviously, that's your side of the ball. Scored a lot of points last year as well.
Yeah.
But as you said, you know, obviously we got some major changes there. Just talk about where they're at right now and give us a little preview.
That's one of the issues. My goal is to build this team around Troy Evans. Troy Evans is a veteran, all-time yards leader in indoor history.
Absolutely.
So the goal is to build guys around Troy that can complement Troy. I don't want that to even be a question. We're going to make this is Troy's team. Then we bring back Carell, which is,
You talk about a player that's just a great story. I mean, he comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Fairly local kid, and he balled out.
Yeah, guy from the tryout, guy that just wants to learn, just wants to play, just wants to score touchdowns. Like, he just wants to do everything that you ask him to do. So, I don't want to, not or put him in the shadows behind Troy, but him and Troy are going to make a good group with whoever that third, that fourth, that fifth guy is. We're trying to build a complementary offense around all the guys.
Yeah, and you got a veteran back at running back. So, how much does that help?
I'll say it now, and I always say it, man. Jeff Mack is probably one of the hardest working football players I've ever coached or played with, because me and Jeff Mack was also teammates in 2018.
Yeah,
right.
So, and then we were also teammates in 2020. But, it's just unmatched, man. It's unmatched. But we got, the options we have is endless. We haven't solidified anything, so.
Right.
Still kind of seeing everything, but Jeff Mack is still going to be.
He's one of those players that, you see him, you go, that must be a different Jeff Mack than I saw back. And he's just been around forever.
Yeah.
He's been doing it at a high level. And you look at him, and I'm not saying he's not athletic or anything, but you're like, you can't believe that he does what he does.
Yes, he's like a Swiss Army knife. Jeff Mack is a running back that I can say, hey, go play wide receiver and put another running back in there.
That's what you need.
Yes, and he's just he can just do it all. No matter what it is I ask him to do, he's up for it.
So Sunday's game, obviously an exhibition, Coach. What do you want to get out of that game? I guess, what are you looking to accomplish on Sunday?
The goal Sunday is to see who we are. I'll be honest, I don't think we're at the point where we're looking at going to this game scoring 100 points. That's why I love the dynamic of what we have going on right now.
Stop. A year ago when we were in the exhibition game, I think you said that to me.
Right.
Score 100 points.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's slightly different.
Yes, this year I'm looking for sleepers. We have a lot of guys. I'm doing things a little bit differently. I'm playing a lot more guys like your traditional exhibition game. I'm going to give a lot more people an opportunity. My biggest thing is if they're not going to be here, I want them to find a home to be somewhere and give them a great opportunity to play. But I don't know who's going to play. We brought back a lot of guys, but we still have a whole bunch of spots that's open right now.
You kind of touched on something that I did want to ask you. I've been around this a long time, and you've been, you haven't been coaching that long.
Yes.
Coordinator, now head coach.
Yeah.
Are you doing things differently than a year ago? Did you learn things from last year? Obviously, the record was successful.
Yes.
The end result was successful. But were there things that you learned that you're doing differently now this year?
So I'm the type that if it's not broke, don't fix it. But over the last couple of days, this Omaha Beef defense has had me to the point where I'm already thinking and I'm in game mode. We're practicing, and my new defensive coordinator has been to the point where it's like, Coach, you're not getting nothing in practice. Our stout D-line, I feel sorry for any team that we play against. They don't even allow us to get the proper reps in practice. It's scary. The DeAnthonys, the Chad Halls, the Kadarius, the Rocks, the Jay Sean's. It's scary.
So you're putting transitions in for us nicely. Let's talk about the defense.
Yeah.
We've had a change over there, obviously at the coordinator position, but Adam Loftus has been, on that side of the ball with Beef. I believe it's his 7th season in a row now.
Yeah.
Talk about the transition there, what he brings to the table. As it sounds like already, he's showing you some good stuff on that side of the ball.
Yes, Adam's a student of the game. That's why when it came to hiring a defensive coordinator, it was a no-brainer. Honestly, I asked Adam last year before hiring Coach Knight if he would like to be the defensive coordinator. Throughout the year, Adam has always been one of those guys who watch film, studies it, breaks it down, but he breaks it down not only on the defensive end, on the offensive end, and the special teams end. I don't know how you do it, because I'm not sitting watching a whole bunch of film on different sides of the ball.
Right.
I guess it's just he has a good eye for the game that I appreciate.
Talk about, you said they're showing up already. Defensive line solid. Look at your defensive backs.
Studs.
Trey Dudley-Giles is back. I mean, you got a lot of experience on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Could be as tough as last year, huh?
Oh, I think we'll be as good as last year, but it's always hard to replace a championship team. But like I tell my team, and I'll tell anybody, I've been a part of undefeated championship teams, and I've been a part of teams that's lost 1, 2, or 3 games that was better than the undefeated team. So undefeated is always the goal, but I mean that's going to depend on the competition. That's going to depend on what player that we get out there. But I mean, like I said, man, our DBs, they're flying around. They're flying around, and they all look the same when you see them on film, that you can't tell which one is which unless you're actually looking at the number. So, like I said, the schemes are fitting, the guys are fitting, and they're kind of buying into what we're trying to do. They know the goal.
When I worked at the league, I spent a lot of time working with special teams. So I'm kind of a goofball that I care.
Okay.
Right. So talk about special teams. You obviously bring a kicker. It's a name. He's got some experience. Have you even practiced special teams? I don't mean that in a dark way, but I mean, I know just how the practice works.
We have not quite got to special teams, but I did get a chance to talk to Caleb, meet Caleb, and actually see him kick from a distance while I'm coaching something else. I mean, he probably has one of the strongest legs I've ever seen. And we've seen Paul Ortiz kick that I thought Paul had the strongest leg I've ever seen. Caleb, the kicker that we have now, he has the strongest leg I've ever seen.
That's saying something.
Okay, that's saying something.
Yes.
Now, that being said, for the fans who may have been following us, the nets are gone this year. There's no nets this year.
Nets.
So it's good for long field goal.
Yes.
Got to be accurate still.
Yep.
But, that kickoff game, you're kind of looking for that 56-yard kickoff. Maybe.
As a head coach, I mean, here we go, world. I am not kicking the ball. All right, he's got to make extra points, or we're going for it on 4th down. That's kind of how this game goes. No, I will kick. We'll get some work in. Actually, today will be our biggest day of special teams.
What else do we need to cover there, big man?
I'll tell you what, I think we got most of it.
We didn't talk about our linebackers.
Let's talk about your linebackers.
Okay.
Wow.
I was going to ask you, what else would you like to talk about?
Just leaving guys out, man.
Right.
So we bring back Cam Hunt.
Yep.
Yeah. Cam Hunt kind of played last year.
I don't want to spoil it, but he should probably be playing at a little higher level. I mean, he's
a different.
Can I cuss? No, I'm just playing.
No,
Cam's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
He's a hell of an athlete.
Right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is keeping Cam focused on the task that's at hand on that day. Yeah. And then the consistency of being the leader of the defense. He's a natural leader to the team. What I'm trying to get him back to is that 2023 Cam. Yeah. So that's the goal for this year. And we bring back Kai Black.
Yeah.
So we brought back Kai Black. Yes, that also complemented Cam in 2023. So
how do you guys kind of see the process, or how do you see the process? Because you mentioned it. I mean, NAL, it's developmental still.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend it's the top.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but, there's some room to go. Whether it's another indoor league or some outdoor leagues that are coming around now. How do you see yourself in that process, and do you think guys buy into that?
When they come in, I mean, we treat them like this is the IFL or the higher leagues. We don't treat them like this is the developmental league, because we don't look at it that way. But sometimes you got to put it into perspective to some players that think they are, worldwide. You're here for a reason. But I don't want you here long. That's every conversation I have with the players when I recruit them is, hey, I am grateful to have you here, but I don't want you here after the season. I'm not going to hold back your calls during the season. If you want to stay here, I want you to stay here. If you want to go somewhere else, I want you to go somewhere else, because it only looks good for the whole team.
What should fans keep their eye on Sunday?
Family fun football. I mean, hard hitting.
Yeah.
Hard hitting. Like, I am excited to really see this defense play. Oh my goodness. And we're not holding back. We're going to go get them. We're returning every fumble, every interception. The goal is 100.
Coach, I appreciate your candor as always. I look forward to doing this every week. Look forward to talking to you before the games. Appreciate your time, really do.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
You're very open with us, which makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a good season. I'll put you on the spot. Who could beat you this year?
Our offense against defense. So we got to count wins against each other. If for somebody to beat us. I don't see nobody
Did you
beating us.
really? Did you really?
Answer.
Did you really think he was gonna say that?
See how he's gonna get around.
Answer that question?
But yeah, as long as you didn't ask me about a rivalry, because it's not a such thing since I've been here.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
That's the coach, head coach, Mike Tatum, everybody. You've never lost a game. We'll start now. All right. Thanks for coming. There'll be an action Sunday afternoon. We take the field again. Looking forward to it in North.
3 o'clock matinee.
Man,
Tickets available. I mean, if you want to get some tickets, show up Sunday for a exhibition type game.
It's community day.
It is community day.
Special jerseys once again. They'll be auctioning them off. It's always good out there, and it may not be the best game on Sunday. We'll be honest, but it's a good one to get out there and check things out. Get your season tickets.
Yeah,
the games. There were games that sold out last year.
There were.
We expect more of that this year. So. Head coach, always good to talk with him. He may have matured slightly as a head coach this last year. I don't know. I felt a little bit of candor there.
I knew he wasn't going to answer that last question. I knew he was not going to answer that last question.
It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show.
I mean, that's all you can do.
I got to ask. It's the first one of the season. We are at Let It Fly. What a beautiful facility here.
It is.
Downtown Omaha. We'll be here again next Monday night. When we come back, we're going to talk with the head man, the owner of Omaha Beef. He's been hanging around here. He made all this happen. He's made a lot happen over the last 7 years. Ricky Burtz, we'll bring him in. It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show live from Let It Fly Sports Bar, beautiful downtown Omaha. Here on where we're on. We're on the internet, right? One Spar Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We're on the internet. That's what they just told me.
Internet.
Jason Unger.
That's the thing.
It's not a fad. I just found out. Apparently, this thing's going to stick around. We got news. Our games will be broadcast live. Ferdat Media. We're looking forward to that. We will have the links on our Facebook pages, our web pages, and whatnot. We're making the jump. It's 2025, right?
It is.
We're going to get off the fax machine.
Get off the fax machine. This internet for real. That voice you hear coming off screen, it's the owner of Omaha Beef. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. It's Ricky Burtz. And, we were obviously angry at you because you did the coaches show like 50 miles from our house. But I'll tell you what, it's a nice setup down here at the Let It Fly Sports Bar.
Beautiful. You got to learn to adapt, and you got to learn to adapt. Just really excited with the partnership with Mike and the entire staff down here at Let It Fly. This is going to be a prelude of more things to come for us, not only for this entire season. This is our first one. We're working out a couple kinks here and stuff like that, but stuff that's going to be great. But this is going to be a continuing trend in the right direction for us, and it's one I'm excited about, definitely.
If you have it down here, there's big screens all over. They got a lot of technology. They've got us up on it. I don't know.
I talk
about that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, your head's about 6 feet wide on that screen up there. You know what I mean? So
that's what's bad. Could they put some air on top of it? Could they do that? Some After Effects or something. But anyways, great crowd down here, and it's a beautiful facility. We were just talking about how it's ironic that Omaha Beef come back down here. It started just down the street, the little Omaha Civic Auditorium. And for people to keep a track, I don't know if you know or not, first 13 seasons at the Civic Auditorium. This is year 13 now at Ralston Arena.
That part I was not keeping track of, but I went to a couple games in the Civic Center that were beef games and everything else. And I mean, I think a lot of arenas just have a lot of things that are unique and just special things about them. And even to this day, Pat Kinnison came in the office today, who's been a season ticket holder since day number one, picked up her season tickets. And I mean, she'd always talk about things about the Civic that made it unique and everything else. You know, Jeff comments about like we had unlimited storage here, something we'd love to have more of right now. But no, I mean, but it's just, you know, hey, I'm just, you know, I mean, it's a continuing trend, and hey, appreciative of the Civic and all those days back there. It kind of set a foundation for a lot of stuff. And yeah, here we are at Liberty First now and going to the year number 26.
You know, the Civic was one of those buildings. It's a great venue for the beef. Obviously, a lot of great moments for the first 10 years or 12 years.
Hey, Todd, I heard that they used to have hot tubs inside there with people sitting in the hot tubs during games, you know?
It's crazy over there.
So I'm trying to get Jason to be on board for doing broadcasts live from a hot tub, you know?
Talk to that. We can fire that up. We've actually done stuff like that.
As long as there's no cameras.
Yeah, right. They also used to draw 9,000 people there, which was pretty cool.
That's
too.
pretty
was,
crazy
yes.
when you think about that.
But it's sad. You know, they tore that down to put in nothing. Was green space? Is that what they
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
So, year number 26. Can you believe that? I mean, this is the longest running indoor team. Our fans know that if you're watching in the country. But I'll be honest, it's not because you're sitting here, but you know, year 18 was about almost the last for the beat. 19 through 26, you had to bring it back. Let's be honest.
No, I mean, Todd, it's kind of almost seems like a blur, you know. You go from having a logo, a 20-year anniversary logo with an XX, and then this last year you got one with a V next to it now being for year number 25. And like Todd, it's kind of blown by in a lot of ways. It really has. But I mean, you know, similar to how we're doing a coach's show now, Todd. I mean, I remember my first year with the team. We were over at Dave and Buster's doing a press conference over there. The first time doing an interview with you and about the team coming back and stuff. And I just think for us, I mean, it's a continuing trend of things that we're going to be doing or continue to do. And we have just a tremendous amount of support from not only the fans, but the community, the businesses that really kind of facilitate and make it happen.
There's a lot of things you can measure during that time, and obviously you can see your growth. I mean, you owning the business, some of the obvious ones, you know, ticket sales, revenue, advertising, but then the football part too. I mean, the success on the field the last 5 years is unprecedented.
Yeah, I mean, we're you know, it's I don't want to say this, and I've talked about this before, and actually I'll say like with John and Katie, they do an incredible job for us at JK Personal Touch. They actually they found a clip that Ducon had done prior to the championship game in 2022 that I did an interview there. It was prior to the game kicking off, a game that you were there, Todd, that I don't know how we lost to this day, but we did, you know. But hey, hats off to the opposing team and Coach O and the players and everything else. But I did a Facebook Live the following day addressing the fans as far as what our goals and our expectations were going to be. And we talk all the time about having our underlying – let me back up here. I tell people that somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. If you don't like the odds, don't play the game. You've heard me say that numerous times before. But no matter what happens on the football field, our goal, our mission will always be to go 1-0 or go undefeated off of the football field. And so the day after the championship game in 2022, I'm doing a Facebook Live, and I think John and Katie are actually incorporating this into our hype video inside the arena. That I said, I don't know what's going to happen. It's not going to happen next week, next month, next year, or whatever. But at some point in time, our expectations of what happens off of the football field will carry on to the football field. And here we are sitting now with 970 some odd days since we last lost a football game and everything else. I call it forecasting, predicting the future, whatever, you know. But there's a lot of things that kind of make this go, you know. And it's we are in a really a precedence, or not a precedence, a dynamic that's just really unheard of.
I mean, it's something that we've talked about. You know, I share. You run things professionally, whether it's a team, a league, whatever. You're going to get results if you maintain those standards.
Absolutely, and so our results have been, I mean, really phenomenal the last 4 years. Going to the championship game 4 years in a row, and Todd, you were here in 2019. We had a team talented enough to get to the championship game that year as well, too. But, you know, I mean, hey, going into year number 26, don't know what's going to happen as far as wins and losses or whatever, but eventually this win streak that we're on, I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later. Somebody's going to beat us or whatever, but when that does happen, we will hit the reset button and try doing it all over again. I mean, the expectations, the goals, the standards of what we want, it's just they're not going to deviate from that. We will continue to get better at everything across the board. And there's a lot of people that I think hate's a strong word, you know, but there's a lot of people that don't like us right now because of the success that we've had. And, you know, just to be black and white on it, people need to get used to it because Todd, I mean, nobody's going to work harder than the people that we have in this organization to maintain that success that we have. We are where we are, and we're not going anywhere.
Step up.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Ricky, let's talk about year 26 and talk about the league and how different it is with the new squads coming in this year. Maybe talk a little bit about that and the excitement that brings to this season.
You know, I mean, this industry has been one that's seen a lot of fluctuation the last year or two. And I'm not saying it because he's sitting here, but your colleague to your left, you know, was very instrumental in the foundation that we have for going into the 2025 season in regards to teams, what's going on, what's happening. And I can tell you with I'll say this industry in general has been kind of on a house of cards the last couple of years. And so we have a very, very strong foundation that Todd helped establish for us while he was running the league that, you know, we're going to see a lot of new teams coming on in. And I'll say this. I mean, I fully anticipate us anticipating our first expansion team for the 2026 season. We were hoping to do it before our games kicked off, which are this weekend, but I anticipate us making that announcement. I'll just be conservative and say probably the middle of next week at the latest. And so that's great for us. I mean, that's great. I mean, and so I think that Todd could tell you as well as me, the biggest mistake in regards to teams is people would reach out in October, November wanting to do this for the upcoming year. And I'm like, dude, that's a recipe for disaster. That's just not going to happen. I mean, like for us as an organization, you look at all the success that we have had, like Jason, we're working like the 2025 season, we were working on before the 2024 playoffs even started. While we are in the championship game, we're already working on next year already to kind of start laying the foundation for what we're going to do. And so having teams that are coming in this early now that we're going to be announcing really sets us up for success long term. And I think it's a testament to the owners that we have, the organizations that we have of how we're going to really grow this thing. I think there's going to be some substantial growth here. Like I'd say for 2026, there's a very real possibility that we could be at double the teams we're at because of not only new teams, but probably existing teams in other leagues that are dealing with some struggles themselves that, hey, the NL's got a good thing going. They have some established franchises like the Omaha Beef, like the Sioux City Bandits. The Columbus Lions have got to be coming up on year number 20 soon, Todd. I mean, they're not that far off, you know. I mean, they're pretty freaking close. But when you have organizations like that in your league, it says a lot about what's going to happen.
Right. So we could have some breaking news here in the next week to 10 days.
That's what he says.
Ricky here.
Sure, we'll break it here first.
Oh, we will.
There we go.
We will.
Fans who come out Sunday, what do they have to look forward to this new 2025?
Well, Mother Nature is going to cooperate with us. As everybody knows here in Omaha, this last week from minus 20-degree weather and snow and everything else, we're going to be out there doing some live promotions this week, but tailgating is going to happen, you know. Even talking to Pat Kinnison, they've never been able to tailgate before when she was in today. What's that? Yeah, that is. So, I mean, tailgating is something massive that's going to be big for us that we'll begin tailgating at noon on Sunday. There'll be more details coming on that. We're going to be working with Kendall. He's going to be out there doing some stuff. We're going to have some promotions, but that's something that I'm really excited about. That's just going to really bring a new flavor for us. But as well, though, this team is so successful because it gets the support that it does from the community. And our very first game, and this is nothing new. I mean, Todd and Jason, you were here last year whenever we did it. It's our community night, as we call it, or a community game. We have some incredible partners with Midwestport Walls, Neil, and the entire staff down there. So we're partnering with Boys Town as the charity organization that we're working with. We'll be wearing specialty jerseys. That'll be a one-time color for this upcoming season, actually a new color scheme that I've never used before with some color and stuff like that. Coach Tatum did an incredible job with them. Todd's looking at me kind of funny, you know. But, no, I mean, so we've got that going on taking place. But Our first flag football practice will be taking place from 9 to 11 inside the arena. We have our own flag football league as well, which is, again, just another avenue outreach. I mean, we could talk about this for a while, and I could run over the stuff for a while, not only what we're doing, but what's going to be coming in 2025.
All-Star Sunday, season number 26 at the Slaughterhouse will be First Credit Union Arena, Omaha. Preseason action against the Minneapolis
Warriors. Yep.
Warriors.
Yep.
Outdoor team coming indoor for the exhibition. Kickoff at 3 o'clock. You can join live. Tickets still available.
Yep.
Come check it out there, where we'll be on the Herd App Network. More information on that on our Facebooks and social medias as well. We did it. A little rocky. First hour in the books. Omaha Beef Coaches Show live from Let's Fry. We'll be here every Monday night of game week, which includes next Monday night. Whatever that is, March 3rd. March 3rd.
Yeah, March 3rd, next week.
7 o'clock. So hope to see you out at the Slaughterhouse. Thanks for joining us here tonight for everybody from Let It Fly and Omaha Beef. Good night, everybody.
Omaha.
Peyton Manning is a team player, and you should be too. Partner with the Omaha Beef and let's tackle the 2025 NAL season together.